Hello, everyone. This is Travis, the trader, coming back to you live on Monday. This is November. I guess since the election, one of the things I've seen from many different managers, but one of them that seems to constantly come out of the woodworks is Cathy. Her name is Cathy Woods. Cathy Woods is the head of ARK. I guess. You always hear about her talking about Tesla or technology, or could be some or the weeds to some of the weeds with 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 some of the ETFs that are ARK ETFs that are currently traded. That could be a good opportunity for those of us who are always that every that everyone talks about. That's the one that's the most common that you read about. So ARKK and naked put 54 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 naked put. Right, they have some monthlies. 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 I like to see a little bit more monthlies, but okay, it's all good. It's still, for those of you that are it's a solid way of getting diversification into these various holdings. I have found it to be a little difficult if you're putting on maybe kind of like a spread trade, put spread, call spread, or even like a delta neutral, like an iron condor of some kind. It doesn't fill as well. You have to do a little bit more price discovery, but if you're doing something naked, it's fantastic. Again, if we went 53 days out, because we are heading towards the 21-day mark here. If you just went 52 with the strike, about a 22 delta, it's not bad. It's about what is it, like a couple cents between the bid and the ask, and about 78 pop, $600 buying power reduction. It's actually something not bad at all. So something to keep in mind on that. The other one that I've looked at, so that's ARKK. The other one is ARKW. I have traded this in the past, long time ago. I regret it because, again, not a lot of liquidity here. As you can see, about 117,000 shares. If we again go 53 days out, man, it's really kind of strong. I would say strongly scary. If we went with a 99 strike at about a 23 delta, you're looking at about a what is that? About a 130, about a 185 on the bid, 300 on the ask. Not something I would touch. Not a whole lot of volume, a whole lot of liquidity. And again, I do need to emphasize this. If you don't see the weeklies in an underlying, if you don't see weeklies, I would stay away from it. Just don't even touch it. There are other opportunities. There are other trades for you to make out there that can be quite rewarding. So that's ARKW. Then you have ARKQ. ARKQ. That's the one I was looking for. ARKQ. So this is like, oh, man. I mean, for those of you who may know what some of the underlyings here, the holdings are, I'd love to get your thoughts. This has to do with like robotics. Yeah, technology and robotics ETF. So Tesla is a big holding in this. Again, I don't know what some of the other holdings are. I'd love to get everyone's thoughts if they know what some of the other holdings are in this. I really have never traded this before, and I guess you can, based on my logic from what you've heard from me, it's because there are no weeklies, not even that many monthlies. And again, if we went 53 days out, gosh, I mean, there's really no volume on the put side, on the call side. very little, very minimum. Not something that I would really touch. Maybe if you were just looking to make it a stock play, I guess you could do something here. But again, I strongly, uh, me personally, I don't invest in stock just because of the efficiency. It's not very cost efficient. So that's something that I would stay away from as well. And the other one that seems to be getting press as well is ARKF. In this, I know Coinbase. In this, I know Coinbase is SoFi. If any of you have ever traded SoFi, I think DraftKings might be a holding in this as well. But again, I wouldn't touch this either. Again, if we went 53 days out, oh boy, I mean, this is just awful. As you can see, the markets here really aren't that great. Again, I'm always looking, as I've said before, the dollar to get at least $1, $1.35, $1.35, 35. This is, what is that? The 38 strike with a 37 delta. You might get filled, but again, I'm not that crazy about it. This is again something I would look to avoid. So out of all the ETFs that I've mentioned here, this morning, the best one is ARKK. And again, for those of you who might be looking for exposure in Tesla or Coinbase, that just might be a good way to go about it, considering those two underlines are quite volatile. An AR naked and an ARKK, but maybe not in a Tesla or in a Coinbase at this point in time. Other than that, I really don't know of any other. I'm sure there are other ETFs. Maybe they're not trading. They're not publicly traded on the Cathy Woods platform. But again, love to get your thoughts. Love to get your comments on that, and also like to see what is it. How are you trading? Some of these. If you are, as I mentioned before, I do have a naked put on there right now. It is working, so I am happy about that. But again, as you know, things can change quite rapidly in this market. Again, for those of you that did find value, please subscribe to my channel. I look forward to your video.